Hi, this is Finio with Let's Go Boys and Girls, and this video will show you how to make paper circuits to light up LEDs using conductive paint. To start out, you'll need a blank piece of paper, your jar of conductive paint, and a small paintbrush. Use the paint to paint two lines on the paper. Make sure that the lines do not touch or cross each other so you do not create a short circuit, and make sure one end of each line touches the edge of the paper. This will make it easier to connect to the battery pack later. Next, you'll want to take an LED and bend the leads as shown here so that the LED will sit flat on a piece of paper. You can do this by bending each lead sideways first, and then bending the LED itself so it will face upward when you put it down flat on the paper. You might have to tinker with this a little bit to get the LED to balance, but it doesn't need to balance perfectly because in the next step you'll be using extra paint as glue to hold the LED down. After you've placed the LED, use some extra conductive paint to secure the leads of the LED down to the existing paint layers. This will provide both an electrical connection to make sure electricity can flow and a mechanical connection to hold the LED down to the paper. Now wait at least 10 minutes for the paint to dry and then you are ready to light up your LED. Now you'll need a AA battery pack and two alligator clips. Start out with the battery pack and clip one end of each alligator clip onto the exposed metal part of the leads from the battery pack. Then, clip the other end of the alligator clips onto the edges of the paper in contact with the black conductive paint. Make sure you've turned the battery pack on and then your LED should light up. If the LED doesn't light up, make sure you have the positive or red lead from the battery pack connected to the longer leg of the LED. If you can't tell which leg of the LED is longer, try just switching your alligator clip connections. If you toggle the battery pack on and off, the LED should turn on and off. If your LED looks too dim using the 3-volt battery pack, which holds 2 batteries, you can also try using the 6-volt battery pack, which holds 4 batteries. This should make the LED brighter, although you can also just wait longer for the conductive paint to dry more as it becomes more conductive as it continues to dry out. Here you can see that I've added additional paint to the circuit along with a second LED in parallel to the first one. However, you'll notice a problem when I turn on the battery pack. The first LED is very bright, whereas the second one hardly lights up at all. I can fix this problem if I remove the alligator clips from the edge of the paper and instead poke them onto the segment of paint in between the two LEDs. You can see here that if I do this, both LEDs light up with about the same brightness. This is because the resistance of the conductive paint is actually rather high. So very long segments of the conductive paint will have a very high resistance, and if the electricity has to take a much longer path to get through one LED than another, even if they are wired in parallel, this will cause the second LED to be much dimmer or not light up at all relative to the first. You can avoid this problem by setting up your painting so that the distance to the two LEDs from the alligator clip leads is about the same as you can see here. Now you can see that using a 3-volt battery pack, these LEDs are still not very bright. So again, you can use the 6-volt battery pack to make them brighter or give the paint more time to dry. Next, you can challenge your students to make fold-up origami structures that include painted circuits. For example, here you can see I've drawn out a pattern for a cube that will fold up and have an LED inside a cutout window. This will require a little more planning on behalf of your students, especially if they're going to paint the circuit on while the paper is still flat before they fold it up. If this is too complicated, they can fold up the paper structure first and then paint the circuit on. You can follow the same procedure you would for a flat circuit to add an LED and use extra paint to secure the LED leads to the existing traces of paint on the paper. Then fold the structure up and use Scotch tape or glue to secure it in place if necessary. Finally, you can use alligator clips to attach your paper circuit to your battery pack and then toggle the battery pack on and off to control the LED. Remember that if the LED looks too dim, you can try using the 6-volt battery pack instead of the 3-volt battery pack. So we hope your students enjoy the project, and for more details, including classroom setup, a materials list, and detailed step-by-step directions along with pictures, you can see the directions in the course manual.